Good morning. Today's Thursday, November 13th, 2025. I'm a bit tired. I went to bed really late last night, like after 2 a.m., and I did the same thing the night before. The reason it happened the night before was I was hanging out with my buddy Wyatt, and I had a lot of Dispatch to catch up on. I had played the first 2 episodes and really enjoyed them, but I hadn't caught up on episodes 3 through 6. So 2 nights ago, I binged 3 through 6. And then yesterday, the last 2 episodes came out. So Wyatt and Tyler finished their playthrough, and I specifically said, I'm not going to go over there until you guys finish, because I don't want to get any spoilers for my playthrough. And then when they were done, I went over, watched the end of the second half of the OKC Laker game, and it was glorious. Then I did the last 2 episodes. So I'm done with Dispatch. I don't really want to talk about it. This is where I'm a little torn, because on the one hand, I'm like, I liked this a lot. I'll just go ahead and say, no spoiler, quick review. Really enjoyed it. I would say for the most part, I really like the writing. There's maybe a line here or there. I'm like, I don't know if that one quite worked, but overall, I really enjoyed it. I like Cape shit. I still haven't picked up Horde in a while, but I still want to get back into it. And kind of, I'm like, getting back into some Hero Cape stuff. I'm like, it's giving me that itch again to pick Ward back up, so I might do it soon, which I kind of needed that. But I had a really good time. My understanding is that this was created to be just 1 season, but it did so well they're considering a season 2. But given just some of how divergent the paths can be at the end, again, without going into spoilers, I am very much like, wonder how they're gonna follow up on this, because I actually haven't really played a Telltale game. I've maybe done a couple episodes of something, but I've never done a second season. So I don't know how effectively branching paths really come together. But overall, I enjoyed this a lot. If there is a second season, I'm looking forward to checking it out. I don't know if I will do a separate video just going full into spoilers. Maybe I'll just do that in my end of year tier list, which I usually start those in January, or I think this year I didn't do them until March because I was, getting displaced. But, liked it a lot. Would definitely recommend it. And I guess while I'm on the subject, let me go ahead and talk about a couple other games. So Pokemon. I have a few different nicknames for this. So there's Pokemon Z, Pokemon ZA, Pokemon Gun, or as I've kind of been calling just Pokemon Za. I don't know what to think of it, man. I've played it a couple times. I've had a couple sessions. And there's that part of me that's I'm having fun because it's Pokemon. And I like Pokemon. I like walking around. I like seeing cool monsters. I like battling them. I like trying to catch them. I like making them evolve. But I'm also you know what else I like? Exploring a region. Having that sense of adventure. And I don't really have that yet. And from what I've played and what I've seen and what I know about the game, I don't know if I ever really do. I like the vibe so far. I like the characters I've interacted with. It seems fun. I've seen some of the dialogue. And it's this game is kind of whacked out. It can be pretty funny. I like a lot of the mega designs. Look, I'll go to bat for Mega Starmie because it makes me laugh. I think this thing is funny. But I'm also do I really want to do this? I don't know. I played Trails in the Sky for 65 hours. And that was a lot of time. But I had a lot of fun. So even though there were points where I'm I maybe Like, maybe my time could be better spent doing something else. At least I was enjoying it. But Zaw, I'm, like, kind of enjoying, but it also feels so empty. I still want to give it a couple more sessions, but I'm like, I can't remember the last time I really felt this way about a Pokemon game. Because even things like Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet, I'm like, look, they have their problems. I will not deny that. I'm not gonna, like, really fight someone or argue with them about it. With some things. So, like, there's some things, like I know I've argued with Clay a few times about my boy Hop, and I'm like, look, man, I actually really like his character. But there are genuine things where I'm like, no, okay, that kind of sucks. But I can't remember the last time I was watching a Pokemon game or playing it and thought, oh no, I think I'm good. I don't like that. But you know what game I did like? I played the Resident Evil 3 remake. This game I thought was really fun. I do kind of plan on doing a video on it. I'm not gonna commit to that. Just, like, I'm more like, I really like the game. I took some notes. We'll see if I, like, really feel like I have enough to say. But, short version, I've never played the original game. The only Resi games I've played are 7, 4, and the 3 remake, and, like, in that order. And I've really enjoyed all 3 of them. I liked how kind of frantic the pace of the game was. The sewer level and the gammas. I was like, I hate this thing. This is terrifying. What the hell is that? This is awesome. And then there was the bug section, which was like a bit before the sewers, and I hated it. Like, the sewers, like, I hate this, but I love it. The bug shit was just, no. I want it. I want these dead. I want these gone. I'm just, ugh. Which, you know, means it was working, so it was great. I understand that the game cut a lot of content from the original, but as someone who hadn't played it, you know, I didn't notice, I can't tell, I can only judge it for the experience I had, and it was a really good one. But the fight with Nemesis outside the clock tower, because Clay's played the original, he told me, he's like, it's one of the hardest fights in the series, like, in the original game, like, it's brutal, because you might be really underprepared. And then in the remake, it was probably the single most fun part in the entire game, because I just, I'm afraid, like, you got rolled and smoked. I had a really good time. I'm really glad I tried it out. So, those were the games that, like, I played and tried over the past week. So some other, I guess, related news, like some game stuff and some movie stuff and some game and movie stuff. The Fatal Frame 2 remake comes out in March. I'm getting more and more excited, because I did play the original, I don't think it was last year. I think it was 23, maybe 22. Like, relatively recently, and I liked it a lot. I think, to me, my biggest complaint excuse me, my biggest complaint with the game is the ending. And it's mostly just because the default ending for me feels like it kind of comes out of nowhere, and then you have to play the game again to get the true ending, and it's one of those where you don't, to me, there was nothing in the story to really justify having to do that. It's just kind of a, fuck you, play the game again. Kind of like Silent Hill F, as much as I really like it, I don't love the way that game handled New Game Plus overall. But I think it's in the Wii make, which, like, the version on the Wii, that's what I like to call it, for Fatal Frame 2, added extra endings, and I could be wrong, but I believe the way you get those endings is kind of like how you do in Silent Hill 2, where it's dependent on how you played the game and some of the, not like, how do you want to do this, but almost the more, like, regular gameplay decisions you made are what determines the endings. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I think. And I wish the base game acted like that. I really hope the remake does, because I feel like there's so many things in the game that, like, I don't want to give anything away in case someone hasn't played it or, like, knows what the ending is. But there were moments where I was playing the game and I was like, oh, like I could influence the ending probably like how much time I spend doing this, or when I'm walking with this character, like if I'm leaving them behind or if I'm staying closer to them, things like that. And I was really disappointed when it had no impact. So I really hope that does. I think the game looks fantastic visually. It's like, this looks so good. This looks so pretty. But we all know why I'm excited. It's not just because it's a really good game, although it is. It's not just because it looks good and it looks fun. I am here for 3 syllables, 4. It's like 6 syllables. I'm here for the Minakami Shuffle. I am here to do my stupid stutter step, which is way faster than it should be, because I'm pretty sure what it really does is you just keep the speed of your run while skipping the frames of your run, making you way faster than you reasonably should be, and just gliding across the map. As I have said, no doubt, several times, I refer to that technique as the Minakami Shuffle because of how perfect it is in Fatal Frame 2. I've done it in other games, and in some games, like where you have a run button or you have a walk button, it doesn't really work. And I've noticed modern games in particular, a lot of times it's like, hold the stick to run. You can't really, like, get a good shuffle out of it. Although I will say, I found a way around it in the 3-make, where, like, trying to get Jill to run, I couldn't really get a good shuffle, but whenever I think it's like L2 is the gun, like, whenever she holds up her gun, I realize if I'm just, like, hitting the button, she just kind of, like, I got the little jitter in there. I was like, okay, this is fun, this is silly, and I like this. But I'm like, man, I don't know, I could probably get, like, a good camera one in Fatal Frame. But I am hoping, I am praying that I can get a good Minakami Shuffle. And even if the rest of the game is terrible, which it shouldn't be because Fatal Frame 2 is really good, even if the rest of the game just does not control well, if I don't like any changes to the story or whatever, I will be so, so happy. So with that said, so game news I thought was interesting, and then movie game news I thought was interesting, the Mario Galaxy movie. So apparently there was a direct yesterday, and I had no idea about that, which, funny enough, I completely forgot about the second Kirby Air Ride direct until I think I saw a Maximilian dude, like, video, like a short, talking about it. I was like, wait, oh, right, that happened. Oh, shit, I missed a lot. So I caught up on that yesterday. But, there was something for Galaxy, so they revealed some of the cast. They showed off Rose, and I adore Rose. As I was saying that, this leaf just, like, slowly, gently flowed down my windshield. And that kind of spooked me a little bit. I didn't know what was happening. They also showed off Junior. And I am a big Bowser Jr. fan. And what's really interesting is the night before, White and I were talking. He's like, okay, did you hear about the leak? No. Tell me more. So he tells me that the leak, like, showed off Yoshi's design, and I've seen that. And it revealed a potential villain team-up in this movie between Bowser Jr. and Wario. And I love that. Like, I was really hoping Wario would be in the movie. I was like, dude, if we get Wario and Waluigi as the villains in the second movie, I will be ecstatic. And we get Junior. And with Junior's here, there's a non-zero chance we'll get the Koopalings. I'm not a hundo on that. But Junior and Wario is such a weird team-up. I didn't know I needed it until it was potentially teased to me. So now if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna be disappointed. And that's not the movie's fault. It's the fault of, like, a leak that may or may not be real. I'm like, man, that sounds so fun. Please be Danny DeVito. Please. Also, but I mean, in the trailer itself, yeah, the fact that it starts with Bowser painting, my brain immediately just went, oh, yeah, this feels like it's kind of teasing and leading up to Junior, and then you see Junior, like, doing all the stuff with the paint. So I am wondering then, like, is Junior explicitly Bowser's son here? Are they actually going to say, it's like, oh no, like, he is basically like a paint creation that Bowser made? Or, I don't know, like, there's some cool stuff they could potentially do with that. I don't think there was anything hinting or teasing at Daisy in this, so I'm not expecting her, but I mean, that'd be neat, that'd be fun. I don't know, like, I got to see Rose. That always makes me happy. She got to do cool stuff at Kick Some Ass. That was cool. That was fun. Look, I enjoyed the first one. Try that again. I don't think I can defend the first Mario movie as like a really great movie, but I can defend it as a good time. And, you know, there's times where I want to go watch a movie to watch, like, a really great story, like a work of art that moves me. There's times where I want to go and just say, look, I want to have a good time. And sometimes I get a Tron Ares situation where I'm like, look, I want to have a good time, and there's just enough there to be like, this moves me a little more than I expect. It moved me more than I expected. And I'm glad it did. I'm really glad I took this experience. So I feel like absolute worst case scenario, the movie's gonna suck, but I'm gonna have a good time, so I'm definitely gonna go see it. Okay, speaking of movies that are gonna be a good time, I learned a couple days ago that The Mummy 4 is in development, and it's being directed by Radio Silence, who did they do both Scream 6 and 7? No, sorry, it's 5. It'd be 5 and 6. The 7th one's coming out. I believe Radio Silence was 5 and 6, which I really enjoyed, and Ready or Not, which I really enjoyed. And apparently there's a Ready or Not 2 that's coming out. It's either in, like, December or, like, February. Like, within the next few months. Like, how did I not hear about this? Also, I don't know, given the ending of the first movie, you're doing a second one? I don't know, I thought we kind of nailed it the first time, but alright, I mean, I really enjoyed the first one. Let me give it a shot. So it sounds like this is still, like, early production. Like, Mummy 4, not Ready or Not 2. Like I said, I think it's coming out in a couple months. I never watched 3, and from what I understand, not only am I missing nothing, they've kind of made it clear that it's not even going to be canon to this. So, like, you literally miss nothing. I love the first movie. I remember loving the second movie as well. So, like, look, man, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a really good time. I can't explain why, but every now and then, I just think of that one line, like, hey, Betty, looks to me like you're on the wrong side of the river. And, like, no context, it'll just, like, every now and then, it'll just pop into my head, and, like, I'm not going to quote that out loud because it, like, does not apply to this at all. But I thought about it. I'm looking forward to it. Let's see, Zootopia 2 comes out in, like, 2 weeks. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I love the first one. I hope I enjoy this one. I think the last time I went to go see a Disney movie in theaters, it was Wish, and I did not enjoy it. I was like, I want to like this. It's the 100th anniversary. Surely it'll be great. What do you mean it's the worst one? This is worse than Frozen 2 and Home on the Range. How'd you pull that off? Is it worse than Lightyear? I mean, a different studio, but it probably is. I really didn't like Lightyear. Which I guess is the transition to Toy Story 5. Toy Story is one of my favorite movies of all time. Toy Story 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time. Toy Story 3, one of my favorite movies of all time. Toy Story 4, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Look, I get it. The movie has problems. I can't deny that. I don't like how most of the squad is just sidelined. I mean, they are more side characters in the other movies anyways. But especially after 3, where it really emphasized that they aren't just like co-workers and they're not just friends. This is a family. And the family is just ignored in most of that movie. I don't hate the way Buzz is written, because Buzz is generally always kind of a goober in his own way. And the idea of him like, I'm going to listen to my inner voice. Like, I don't know. I could see Buzz doing something like that. But it doesn't quite work. He is just sort of reduced to one joke. And I don't think it's as effective as like Spanish Buzz from 3, because that's really funny. Or, just the 2 Buzzes in 2, because second Buzz is also, he's just first Buzz, but now everyone knows, like, okay, the guy is like nuts, and it makes it so funny. So, I don't love how he's written in 5, but I think it's fine. Here's why I genuinely love Toy Story 4. Number 1, I cried both times I've seen it. And I cried multiple times the first time. I did not cry at the Infinity and Beyond scene, but that's what made me cry the second time. I guess for context, the first time I watched it, like I saw it in theaters, I cried basically twice at the beginning. Like, I think it's that scene with Woody and Bo Peep. I cried. During the Friend and Me section, I cried. And it's at the end when Gabby got adopted. I cried at that too. I thought that was beautiful. What I really genuinely love about Toy Story 4 is how they handle Woody. Because as much as I love the ending of Toy Story 3, and I do, I think it is genuinely a perfect ending. And it's why I will not really fight with anyone who says, why did you keep going? Just end it there. Woody is a very impulsive character. We see it in 1, where he plans to push Buzz out the window. We see it in 2, where he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Japan and be a museum art piece. I think this is a good idea and what I really want. And anyone can tell you he would have regretted that decision if he went through with it. To me, the ending of Toy Story 3 is Woody making one of those impulsive decisions. And Toy Story 4 is showing that, no, he regretted it. He loves his family, but he loves his kid more. And it's seeing him trying to move on with his life and come to terms with his decision. And while everyone else is able to, Woody just can't. And I find that really interesting and consistent with his character. So to me, Toy Story 4 is a movie where I'm like, no, I buy this, and I like this a lot. So, to me, to continue that, 5 would have to be a movie where he, like, finds Andy and, like, gets adopted by Andy's kid. That, to me, is kind of how you make a satisfying end for Woody's character. So I don't know what he's doing back with Bonnie. I don't know what's going on there, and we'll see. I really, really hope they don't try to pull up, well, Toy Story 4 didn't really happen because no one really liked that movie. I'm like, well, fuck you. I did. But I mean, Forky and, I don't remember what the other one's name is. Like, is it like Sporky or like Spoony for his girlfriend? Like, they're both there, so Toy Story 4 happened, but like, I see Woody. Where's Bo? Is there a thing where, I mean, maybe they do the same thing where it's like, yeah, look, Woody regretted his decision at the end of 4, so now he's back and he and Bo broke up. I'm like, I mean, sure, but man, that feels pointless and just kind of like a gut punch for no good reason. I don't like this. But I will say, though, the idea of the villain, whether it's actually like a villain or just we don't like you, but the antagonist being like a tablet, I actually love that. Just like, yeah, kids are more interested in their screens than they are in their toys or in going outside. Yeah, I actually think that's a good idea for a Toy Story movie. Why Woody is back with everyone again? I'm like, I'm going to tentatively say that I trust you here because y'all nailed it with the last 4, in my opinion. You nailed it with the first 3, and the 4th, I was like, I like it, I love it, I live it. But there are problems. We'll see what happens. I'm expecting great things. I'm assuming this is going to be phenomenal and make me cry and all that. And if it doesn't, there's going to be a problem. But we'll see. Okay, so that's all that. The Saints won a game. I didn't think they had it in them anymore. We won a division game on the road. The last division game we played, I think we got blown out by 20. We won by double digits? We can do that? No, again, I don't have, hope. But, I don't know, man, just shucks. maybe that's what we need. Maybe we just needed Carolina to play terrible. Maybe we needed to trade some players because, I don't know, that woke us up or gave us a spark. Which feels bad to say because I love Shahid. Maybe it was just we needed to play Shuck. Maybe, I don't know. I don't really know what happened, but it feels good. It feels nice to get a win. And the Falcons lose in the same week. It's this just makes it a little bit sweeter. Man, we came in with no expectations. Y'all came in with playoff aspirations. And look, you're only one game better than we are. We know we suck. What's your excuse? I feel like I'm in the minority here, but I honestly enjoyed that Eagles-Packers game. I kept hearing people say, online, oh, this game was boring. What a snooze fest. This game sucked. I'm like, I don't know. These were 2 division leaders late in the year playing a game in the cold with 2 elite defenses. And the offenses both have their issues and their woes, but should be clicking. And there's times where you can see them clicking. There's times where you can see those woes. And there are times where the defenses stepped up. To me, I think what made it so exciting, aside from just the playoff atmosphere of it, was just that sense of, at some point, someone's going to break, someone's going to score. And not just man, I'm waiting for someone to score, but as good as these defenses are, I know these offenses have it in them. It's just a matter of who's going to do it first, and is the other one going to figure it out too? And the Eagles go up by double digits in the 4th quarter, in this game, that might be killer, but I know it's not. And then Green Bay scores, okay, it's not over yet. Things can still happen. Okay, Green Bay got the ball again. Something can happen. All right, Eagles got it. Why did they go for it and throw it on 4th down there? Okay, Green Bay's got another chance. Okay, what is about to happen with this field goal? As much as people were this game is boring, I'm I don't know. I kind of thought this game was hype. There were definitely a lot of lulls, but I don't mind. I think the thing for me is there are times watching a game where I'm okay, this does feel boring. But 2 elite defenses going against offenses that are struggling, but clearly not inept, I think is fun. A good defense against a completely inept offense, to me, is not fun for long stretches. But a competent offense, even if they are struggling, against a good defense, even if the defense is generally winning, that is fun to watch for me. Especially when it's on both sides. Because if it's all right, here's the really good, here's the good offense struggling against a good defense. And on the other side, well, our offense is good and your defense sucks, so it's like a 20-point blowout until the other offense starts to figure it out. Not fun. That sucks. This I thought was really fun. Giants blow it again, and then Dable got fired. Part of me is like, I'm just kind of surprised he even made it this far. There are definitely points earlier in the season where I thought it might happen, like the Denver game. I kind of thought it was going to happen last season. I was a little surprised it didn't. Here's something I find really interesting in this season. For the last, 3-4 years, the top, the big four teams in the AFC have been the Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, and the Bengals. And none of those teams are leading their division right now. And only one of them is actually in the playoffs at the moment. And even then, you're like, oh yeah, so it's all new blood and stuff like that. You're like, yeah, but it's the Colts and the Patriots. So it's new in terms of the last few years, but it's really not new. This is just what the AFC used to be. It's like them two and the Steelers. And you're like, yeah, this is normal. But I don't know, it just shows the parity in the NFL. And then, you got the Jacksonville-Houston game where Jacksonville is up 19 in the fourth quarter and they put up 2 yards of offense until their final drive, which, I don't know, they probably lost yards given how that ended. And then Houston scores, it was 26 unanswered to finish the game, including an unneeded but really hype walk-off strip sack touchdown to give it score economy. And that was it. They scored 20 unanswered, and then they had the walk-off, because that's right, touchdown sucks. And I didn't watch most of that game, but because I was watching primarily Bucs-Patriots, which was a really good game. It was actually really cool that the Patriots scored twice in the first half, and both was with double zeros on the clock at the end of the quarter. And I was flipping between that and the Bears and the Giants, and then when one of those ended, I think it was the Pats-Bucks, I was able to watch the last 4 or 5 minutes of Jacksonville-Houston, because that game went on a lot longer than I expected it to. And then you had the next window of games, which was, okay, Seahawks destroyed the Cardinals. Lions destroyed the Commies, I think by the same score. And then there were points where the Niners made it a bit more interesting, but they still got beat up by the Rams. Rams-Seahawks is next week. I believe that is their first matchup of the season. That's a good one. It's interesting, the NFC West, here's 2 really good teams, a beat-up Niners team that's still fighting, and then the Cardinals. And then the NFC North, okay, Lions, Bears, Packers, they're all, right there in the thick of it, all have, good records, either good offenses, good defenses, or some combination of both. And then the Vikings, but the Vikings aren't entirely out of it yet either. And then you look over the NFC East, okay, so the Giants are terrible, the Commies are not doing it, and the Cowboys can function sometimes, but have no defense to speak of. Oh, and the Eagles, as flawed as they are still really hard to beat, and I think are the 1 seed right now. And then you look at the South. Well, the Saints suck. The Falcons can't get it together. The Panthers are almost kind of good, but also almost kind of bad at the same time. And the Bucs are the best of the worst, but are still pretty good. I just find it really interesting. Here's 2 divisions that are dogfights that have, real contenders. And then, here's the other half of the conference. Meanwhile, most of the AFC is, fighting for their playoff lives because even though the Ravens were 1-5, they're only a game out of first place in their division now. And then the Chiefs, been to the Super Bowl, every year for the past, 6? I mean, I don't know, not technically, but close to it. They're not in the playoff picture either. It would be so funny and so weird if, despite all of Jacksonville's problems, they still somehow get a spot over the Chiefs. Yes, that was most of my week. The only couple other things are, I don't remember if I mentioned this last week, so I don't remember when I started it, but I am posting Isla on Royal. No, I think I did mention this last week. So that's going. I have now gotten to the point where I've run out of edited chapters, so I'm going to post a chapter like a couple hours or so and just kind of know, like, all right, I am now at that point where I'm caught up, so this release schedule is definitely going to be slower, but I do want to make sure that I keep working on it because, you know, I enjoy this story. I'm enjoying revisiting it. And also because, yeah, like posting it and trying to keep, not necessarily a schedule, but, you know, trying to still like add content to it, I guess. Okay, what I'm trying to say is like actually putting it out there means I now have to be honest to keep working on it, which is a good thing. That's what I'm trying to say. And so even though it's going to significantly slow down from like here's a chapter a day or like every couple of days, like I can't do that anymore. But hopefully every couple of weeks I can get something out. And the fact that the base of each chapter is already written, is something that's going to help a lot. And then for Orichalcum, I've reached out to some other people, like either, I think like some blogs and YouTube channels to, if they're interested in reviewing it. I've heard back from some people who have said that they are. And I think I mentioned this last week. I'm like, that's really exciting and really scary. It's really exciting. It's like, cool. Even so, yeah. Most of it is I'm interested, but I can't guarantee like when I will get to it, which I completely understand. It's like, cool. There, I got a chance. My foot is in the door. I just don't know if and when it will be read. And then even if it does, like, cool. They might not like it. And so as excited as I am that like someone has a chance to read it and someone can talk about it, maybe get it some exposure, they might say, this is dog shit, don't read it. But even if they do like it and they post a good review like on Goodreads or on their blog, there's still no guarantee that it'll really like kind of go anywhere. And yeah, like there's a lot of potential roadblocks. There's a lot of what ifs. But at the absolute worst, I guess at the absolute worst, they never get around to it. So I guess the tier up from that is, even if they absolutely hated it, someone still read it. And even if they give a really like nasty review, they still read it. And that's still criticism and feedback I can try to grow from. And maybe it'll be something that just makes me go, okay, so I should never write again. Got it. Or it'll give me a lot that I can work with going forward in Orichalcum sequels, but also in my other work. And, you know, we take that. It sucks, but you take it. Or alternatively, people read it and they really like it. And they do, you know, talk about it on like their social media and give it really glowing reviews, which makes other people want to read it. And the word of mouth spreads. And then all of a sudden, book does well. And now the pressure's on for book 2. But like, okay, now let's lock in and do this. And all of those are scary in their own ways. Like, you know, it can be scary to fail. It can also be kind of scary to succeed because, you know, like I said, now you have more pressure and expectations. But it is exciting. And even though there is uncertainty, I am excited for this. So I think that's it. This one's about 10-15 minutes shorter than they've been lately, and hey, I'll take that. I guess the only other thing to say is I cleaned my car. It was a couple weeks ago, I think I mentioned, like some friends helped me move some hay, and having to clean out some of the stuff in the back. I was like, oh, I mean, there's some stuff here because of a lot of the weird moving stuff, but cleaning out having to do that made me realize my car is super dirty, but I actually got it clean. Like I got my windshield repaired, and like this feels nice. This feels good. I like this. But that's it. Take care. Take it easy. Have a good rest of your week.